Everyone wants to be a hero, but not everyone has the guts to do so. A hero does not always need a strong body or unmatchable talent. He must have a big, courageous heart to overcome the obstacles. Yankee Irving is a 10-year-old boy who's a big fan of baseball. He remembers each of the past national matches along with every single detail. Even his name is after the famous baseball team, the New York Yankees. Regardless of his knowledge, none of his friends wants to keep Yankee on his team. It is because Yankee can't make a single shot. Everyone makes fun of him and kicks him out of their team. Poor Yankee tries to practice baseball with a broom, but he can't handle it either, and it hits an old car. Under the car, Yankee finds an old ball. He believes he's just like this ball, unwanted and retard. Yankee wishes to be like Babe Ruth, the famous baseball player who's shining at the peak of his career. His popularity has attracted many competitors, and one of them is Napoleon Cross. He's the manager of the Chicago Cubs and a really evil man. Napoleon believes all of Babe Ruth's strength lies in his historical bat, which he calls Darlin. He wishes that Ruth loses his bat and the Chicago Cubs win against him. Meanwhile, Yankee reaches back home sadly after the unfortunate day. His mother is cooking dinner while there's no sign of his father. He's working on night shifts again, and Yankee can't spend enough time with him. He locks himself in his room and tears off all the posters of his favorite baseball players. He doesn't want to play ever again after the humiliation today. Suddenly he hears a knocking sound. The ball he brought is moving by itself. Not just that, it can talk as well. The ball gets angry about getting picked up. It wanted to decompose peacefully in the sandlot. The ball tries to run away, but Yankee catches it and shows it to her mother. Unfortunately, only Yankee can talk to the ball. He names it Screwie and gives it a good wash. Afterwards, he puts it in the drawer as he's going out to deliver food to his dad. Mr. Stanley Irving works in the Yankee Stadium and his son loves visiting him there. Yankee sneaks into the stadium playground and stares at it with desire. He always wishes to be one of the professional players. His father brings him out of his thoughts and asks how his day was. Yankee announces that he doesn't want to play again as he has always been a loser. Stanley tries to explain how the teams play in the field every day and loses too, but they still keep playing. And then he takes Yankee to the locker room where he can see the belongings of his favorite players. The little boy is overwhelmed and requests his father to let him stay a little longer. Yankee steps near Ruth's bat to touch it, but before he can, a security guard stops him immediately. Yankee gets startled and rushes to his father. However, this visit revived his love for baseball and he decided not to give up so soon. The next morning brought terrible news. Babe Ruth's bat has been stolen, and the stadium management is at Irving's house. Only Stanley was on duty last night, so everyone blames him for the incident. Yankee rushes out of his room and tells about the security guard he saw. No one believes him, and the management gets angry at Stanley for letting his son enter the locker room. They even fire him from the job. The country is already having an economic crisis, and it's almost impossible to find another job. Yankee tells the whole incident to Screwie, and the ball believes it could be someone from the Chicago Cubs. Yankee hurriedly takes out his photo collection and picks up the picture of the man he met last night. It was Lefty McGinnis, the pitcher of the Chicago Cubs. He has been accused of cheating several times before, and now he disguised as the security guard to steal Darlin. Yankee is worried about Babe Ruth losing the match without his bat, and he must clear his father's name as well. There's not much time left as the lefty is leaving on the Chicago train in just a few hours. Yankee grabs his bag and jumps out of his window to catch Lefty. The station is full of people and it's hard to find someone. To get a better view, Yankee climbs up a luggage trolley. After a few minutes, Screwie spots Lefty riding the train. Yankee gets mixed up with the Boy Scouts and sneaks into the train. He hides under a seat and looks for Lefty. After looking around, Yankee rolls forward Screwie to let him find their rival. Lefty is sitting in the third row with Darlin hidden inside a suitcase kept under his seat. Yankee cleverly pulls out the suitcase, but Lefty spots him. The little boy runs away blindly and reaches the end of the train. The only way out is to jump off to the other train. Yankee throws the case first and jumps to catch the train. He luckily makes it to the other side and keeps running. Lefty hasn't given up either. He climbs up the train and dodges a bunch of signboards to finally reach where Yankee is. The smart kid slides under him and gets back to the Chicago train. Lefty tries to pull Yankee down but fails. Lefty is defeated, but Yankee doesn't have the train ticket and gets kicked out to the station. The ticket booth is still closed and the poor boy can't return to New York. He sits down and opens the case. There lies the shiny bat Darlin. Surprisingly, it can talk too. Darlin shouts and orders him to put her down. She wants to return to her owner in Chicago as soon as possible. Unfortunately, she can't move an inch by herself. She must beg Yankee to help her, but Yankee needs to get back to New York and prove his father innocent. He's too sleepy to make a decision and lies down to get some rest. The next morning, Lefty reaches the station. Screwie wakes up Yankee and they all hide behind the bench. Lefty calls Napoleon and informs him of his quick arrival, and then he sits down on the bench. He notices the empty case and rushes out to catch Yankee. They are running on the tracks, but then a train hurries towards them. Yankee gets down in time, but Lefty gets hit. The evening starts to set in, and Yankee hasn't eaten anything. Suddenly he hears a weird sound. It's a dog, and he steals away Screwie. Yankee runs after him and reaches an old building. There's a bunch of guys staying there. They seem friendly and offer Yankee dinner. They aren't any goons, but just some guys who lost their jobs. They are also big fans of baseball. They hear the match on the radio and learn about Babe Ruth playing poorly. Yankee blames himself and starts thinking about going to Chicago. Suddenly they hear the train whistling. All the men run to ride the train to New York, but Yankee is left behind. He has decided to go to Chicago and return Babe Ruth's bat. The next morning he reaches a town and starts looking for food. He puts down his belongings and climbs the apple tree. Suddenly a bunch of stray kids come over and pick up Screwie. They refuse to return the ball and start beating Yankee brutally. A girl named Marty rushes there to help Yankee. She's an expert at throwing and hits the kids with rotten apples. She also gives some dodging tips to Yankee, and together they knock off the stray kids. Marty is a friendly girl, and she invites Yankee to her home. She learned throwing from his father, Lonnie Brewster. He plays for the Cincinnati Tigers and is considered the star pitcher. Yankee feels really delighted to meet the great player's family and tells Marty about Darlin. Marty writes a note for her dad and gives it to Yankee. Lonnie's team is going to Chicago as well, and they will help Yankee. Suddenly, the doorbell rings. It's Lefty, who introduces himself as Yankee's father and tries to catch him. Yankee jumps out of the window and runs, but Lefty catches him. He makes fun of Yankee's father and calls him useless. Yankee doesn't lose his temper and knocks down Lefty. Then he continues his journey to meet Lonnie. He wanders through different places and hitch rides to reach his destination. Meanwhile, his parents are really worried for him and look for him everywhere. They even get help from the police. Yankee has been roaming around with no food and rest, and he really misses his family. The night turns in and the clouds start to thunder. Yankee rushes under a bridge to keep away the rain. He sits in a corner and starts crying. Darlin feels bad for him and explains how thankful she's for saving her. She believes Yankee is just like a younger version of Babe Ruth. Hearing these words, Yankee feels motivated and keeps going forward. He meets Lonnie and delivers Marty's letter. Lonnie lets Yankee ride their bus and they all head towards Chicago. On the way, the Cincinnati Tigers teach Yankee some great swinging moves and help him practice. They reach Chicago by night, and Lonnie drops Yankee at the hotel Ruth is staying at. Yankee tries to meet his idol, but Ruth is surrounded by media and security. The brave kid still sneaks, and Ruth greets him happily. Unfortunately, Lefty steals Darlin once again. Screwie drags her back, and Yankee tries to pick her, but Lefty runs away with the bat. The poor boy hangs on the car, but Napoleon pulls him in. The next morning is the last match. Babe Ruth is failing on the field, and there's no more capable player to bat in his place. And the poor Yankee is locked in by Napoleon. He sits in a corner and blames himself. Screwie rolls to his side and tells his part of the story. Screwie wanted to be a home run ball, but he was thrown out of the field and ended up at the sand lot. Since then, he believed the baseball field is a place of broken dreams, but then Yankee picked him up and made him worthy. The match may be out of hand by now, but Yankee still needs to help his father. He gets up and uses Screwie to break the window. He hangs down on the decoration and reaches the audience. From there, he runs to the field and requests to talk to Babe Ruth. Luckily, Ruth recognizes the kid and listens to him. Yankee returns Darlin, but Ruth can't play now. They need a hitter. The rest of the team has already given up. But then, Ruth sees Yankee standing on the pitch and decides to give him a chance. A boy who can bring Darlin to Chicago all by himself can do anything. It is not the bat, but the batsman who wins the match. Lefty picks up Screwie to ball, and Yankee misses the first two shots. Then he sees his parents, who reached there with Marty. Getting their support, Yankee gets in full form. He recalls all the tips and tricks he learned on the way and gives his best. The ball is thrown high in the sky and Yankee runs for the score. He dodges all the players and slides over Lefty to complete his home run. Everyone starts to cheer for him. He achieved his dream of playing in the World Championship, and Screwie finally got to be the home run ball. The New York Yankees win the match and join the celebration parade. You can be the worst player on the field, but when people tell you you're no good and say you should give it up, you know what you do? You just keep on swinging.